welcome to Fertility. My name is Samantha. I am the assistant manager of ACRC Global, and I am here with Kayle, who was one of our surrogates and is actually one of our case managers now. Today, we are going to embark on an intimate exploration of fertility. Join us as we gather stories from surrogates who have selflessly carried the dreams of others. Listen to the heartfelt journeys of intended parents who have faced their own trials and engage with professionals who provide invaluable expertise in this complex field. In each episode, we create a safe space to share experiences, foster understanding, and offer support. Through candid conversations, we aim to empower and educate, bringing you a diverse range of perspectives and shedding light on the emotional roller coasters that accompanies surrogacy. From the highs and the lows, we'll be sipping on fertility, a blend of personal narratives, expert advice, and shared wisdom. Together, we'll explore the intricate tapestry of surrogacy and navigate the complexities of the process. Join us as we celebrate the courage and compassion of surrogates, honor the resilience and determination of intended parents, and gain valuable insights from professionals in the field. Whether you're considering surrogacy, have a personal connection to the journey, or simply want to expand your understanding, Fertility is here to guide you. So grab a cup of tea, find a cozy corner, and join us on this extraordinary voyage through the world of fertility. Welcome to Fertility, where we toast to the power of human connection and transformative possibilities of surrogacy. So as I said, we have Kayle with us. She has done a journey already, and in doing so, she also joined our team as one of our case managers. So Kayle's been wanting to be a surrogate since the age of 17. Tell us what that was like at 17 years old, wanting to be a surrogate.
Okay, so like every 17-year-old, I Googled, what's the best way to make money as an adult? And surrogacy popped up.
Yeah.
So I was like, what is surrogacy? So I did my research for years. And of course, the number one requirement was to be 21.
Right.
I was 17, naive, didn't have a kid, wasn't married, wasn't financially stable, which are all the requirements, except for being married.
Yeah.
So I did my research and I waited until I found the right partner, had a baby, talked to him about it beforehand, before we had a baby, and told him that this is what I wanted.
Yeah.
And was like, are you okay with this? And he was like, yeah, like I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
So I did it, and it was amazing.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And so tell me, how many children do you have?
I have a son of my own. He's 2. He just turned 2. And then I have a stepson who will be 5 in September.
Awesome. Awesome. That's so cool. Where do you guys live?
We live in St. Augustine, Florida.
Okay. So Florida is definitely a surrogate-friendly state. There are 3 states in the United States that cannot: Michigan, Louisiana, and Nebraska. So Florida is definitely one of the most friendly states to be a surrogate. So that's really good. When you decided to become a surrogate, what were you looking for? Did you plan on doing an agency? Were you wanting independent? Like, what were the steps for you to start your process?
So personally, I didn't want all the responsibilities that the agency takes care of. Like the agency makes your appointments, make sure you get your money on time, make sure, they take care of everything. So they make it a lot easier for the surrogate.
Right.
So I knew I didn't want to do independent. As relationship-wise with the intended parents, I wasn't too concerned about it like most people are. I was like, whatever you're comfortable with, if you just want me to have the baby and us, part ways. My intended parents, we didn't really have a relationship until the baby was born.
Okay.
And then she stayed in my town for about 2 weeks after birth. And we went to dinner 2 to 3 times. I went and met her family.
Yeah.
And she actually offered for me to fly to San Diego where she lives.
Oh, nice.
And, stay with her and her parents for a couple weeks, me and my family. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. I never ended up doing it. Maybe in the future. Yeah. But she still sends me updates of the baby.
Oh, good. So you still keep in contact and you have some type of updates. Okay. Well, that's awesome. And I know, like you said, like different people have different perspectives and different wants and needs and types of the relationships. And, we have international IPs that we work with. And so I'm sure that poses a little bit of a communication barrier, if you will. Did you have any communication issues with your IP that you had?
Not at all, especially since she didn't really need a translator, but there was one there during our match meeting, during legals. All throughout, like we had a chat that we had, and they had an interpreter in there just in case she needed me.
Awesome.
Or them, but no, they didn't need them, so there was no communication barrier.
Yeah, so that definitely helps to gain some type of a relationship.
Right, exactly.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And so I know you said you were married and your husband is supportive. Like, tell me, like, what was his role in your whole journey? Like, it's not his baby. So how did he react?
Took care of me like it was his baby. Like he knew it wasn't his baby, but like he was washing dishes, doing the clothes, like waking up the boys. Like the boys get up at like 7 a.m. and then go to school. Like he was getting them dressed.
Wow.
He went to the gym at 5 a.m., then got the boys ready, and then made me breakfast, made the boys breakfast, got them dressed. So like he was like the sole base of the surrogacy. Awesome. So he was super supportive. Yeah. But when it came down to give birth, he was like, you know, I don't really want to be in the room.
Yeah.
You know, like
I could see how that's
and
a
I was
little
like,
uncomfortable.
Okay, yeah. I was like, you took care of me during my whole surrogacy, so this is your choice. Yeah. So I had my best friend come with me.
Okay. Were your intended parents part of the delivery?
They didn't make it.
Oh, no.
They didn't make it in time. So when my water broke, because I went on a boat the day before, and you know, I thought I peed myself, and I was like, oh, okay, like, so I went an hour without telling my doctor or anything.
Yeah.
And then my friend works in the ER, and I sent her a picture, like, and I was like, hey, like, I peed myself, but I keep peeing myself. She's like, you're not peeing yourself. Your water broke. Oh, so I went in and I told the IP, I'm like, hey, like, my water broke. And she's like, okay, well, I won't be able to make it until like tomorrow or the next day. Yeah. She ended up making it like 6 hours after the baby was born.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you have to keep the baby in the room with you? Because I know some girls are a little hesitant about that. Like what happens after delivery if the IPs aren't there? How did that work for you?
So I gave birth at Flagler Hospital, and they said that they've had a couple surrogates and they knew how it worked. Yeah. I got to keep the baby as long as I wanted. Okay. Especially since that was in our contract. Like if I wanted to hold it, I went into it not wanting to hold him. Yeah. And then, you know, I felt bad. I was like, okay, I'll hold you a little bit since your mom's not here. So I held him for 2 hours, and he was getting hungry, and I had pumped previously, so I had a lot saved up for him.
Oh, okay, cool.
It was colostrum, obviously. And so I was like, hey, go get the colostrum, I'll feed him. And they're like, no, like, we'll take him if he's ready to eat. And I was like, okay. They took him, and they were like, yeah, he's sleeping. And I was like, all right, I guess it's y'all's baby now. Yeah. So then I didn't see him after that, and then I saw him the next day when we went to dinner.
Okay, cool.
Less than 24 hours later.
Okay. Wow, you left after 24 hours?
I left after 3 hours of giving birth.
Wow.
Yes. I lived 2 minutes from the hospital, and they were like, oh, like, you want to leave? I was like, yeah, please. And they're like, we don't know how we feel about that. I'm like, I'll be fine. Yeah. And so they're like 2 hours later, they came and woke me up. They're like, all right, here's your discharge stuff. Have a great day. I didn't rip or anything. So they were like, you can go.
Easy. Yeah. Wow. Okay. That's pretty impressive. Okay. So I know you said you thought you peed yourself on the boat. That's pretty embarrassing. Yes. Did you have any other like embarrassing like moments during the journey?
Yes, I peed myself all the time.
Oh, okay.
Like my husband has this thing where he knows that when I sneeze, or you know, you've had a baby. When you sneeze or when you laugh too hard and you got to go to the bathroom, it's coming out if you don't cross your legs. Oh yeah. So I was going up the stairs one day, and my husband did something funny, and I don't remember what he did, but he knew it was going to make me laugh. Oh, so no. I was laughing so hard that I had to like put my hands on the wall, and I just like peed myself. And I was like, why would you do that? I was like 30-something weeks pregnant, and he just like started recording, and I'm like, you better not send that to anybody. He hasn't sent it to anybody, but I'm sure it's coming soon.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, but that's cool that he was like so supportive, but like also didn't act weird. Like he knew, you know, that's really neat. Are you ready to make your dreams of starting a family a reality? This episode of Fertility is brought to you by ACRC Global, your trusted partner in assisted reproductive services. With offices worldwide, including locations in Irvine, New York, Seattle, Tokyo, Taiwan, and more, ACRC is dedicated to providing high-quality surrogacy and egg donation services. Surrogates can earn up to $70,000 per journey, while egg donors can earn over $60,000 over time. Visit www.acrc-global.com to learn more and get started on your fertility journey. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook for valuable resources and updates. And don't forget to mention that Samantha from Fertility sent you. ACRC Global, your partner in building families one step at a time. Now back to the episode. Do you feel any type of connection to the baby or anything like that?
No. So I explain to people all the time that when I had my own son, like he came out looking just like me and my husband. Right. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is my baby. Like I want to kiss it. I want to hug it. Yeah. And like I was crying and everything. And then when I had the surrogacy baby, you know, most days I forgot I was even pregnant. Yeah. Except for the big bulging stomach. Like there was no other connection or like, oh, how many weeks am I today? Like no counting down. So when I had him, and you know, I carried for Asian IPs. So he came out looking, he came out looking Asian. decision. And I was like, this ain't my baby. This isn't my husband's baby.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is cool, but like, he's not mine. So I didn't have that type of like, oh, this is my baby connection or crying tears connection. I was like, wow, I really just had a baby for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, this is cool. This is awesome.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of surrogacy, is literally giving life to somebody else's dream.
Yes. It was amazing.
And that to me is everything. Like, that's why I got into this field, is because I know, having children of my own, and how much joy that brings me, and knowing that we are able to give that joy to a family that's not able to conceive on their own for whatever reason. Either it's dangerous to carry, or they're just physically not able to conceive a baby. Just knowing that we're able to do something for them, money aside, like, just giving life is great.
Right.
But the compensation part of it is huge. And I think that doesn't get talked about enough, is compensation, because people get so mad and they think that you're selling babies and making profits. And pregnancy is so hard on our bodies as it is. And I do feel that some type of compensation is more than adequate to ask for. A lot of people are worried about the health insurance part of it and anything that you have to pay. So I don't want to know your compensation, but in terms of like the money aspect of it, like, did you have to pay for appointments? Did you pay for anything? Because I know some girls are very worried about that part of it.
So going in, I didn't know much about the compensation part of it. And I thought that, at least appointments would be out of pocket, or I would have to pay some type of money. But during my entire surrogacy, I didn't pay a dime out of pocket.
Okay.
Everything was taken care of by the agency. Appointments were taken care of beforehand, paid for. I never brought out my card for anything. All Ubers and stuff that I had to take reimbursed. The food that for medical screening was taken care of. So surrogacy, if you're with the right agency, should not cost you a dime out of your pocket.
Right. And that is important, because a lot of girls, they get very worried that it's going to have to cost them something to do this. And in reality, it doesn't cost anything. And, and you can use that compensation however you want. You can use it to build a house, or save for your own kids to go to college, or whatever you feel is the best thing for you guys to do for your family. But I think it's so important to note that the compensation is okay. It's okay to get compensated for this.
It's okay to want money.
Yeah, for sure.
It's okay to want to be paid for you potentially putting your body at risk.
Right.
Pregnancy is big. I had a very easy first pregnancy, and my second was even easier.
Right.
So, talking about the money saving up, we're buying our first house. Like, we put an offer in it a couple days, and we're under contract.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, we closed in July, at the end of July. So it's super exciting.
Yeah, and you could not have done that.
No.
Well, you could have.
I could have if I worked 23 hours out of the day. Right. But, it set my kids up. I made them college funds, IRA accounts, like all of that.
Yeah.
And, they're set. They're good.
All right. So the big question is, would you do it again?
Yes, 100%.
Really?
No doubt. Yes. Not as soon as I originally thought.
Right.
So when I gave birth, I texted my case manager, Shannon. She's awesome, by the way. And I was like, hey, send me the application. I want to do it again.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay. And I filled out the application right then and there. And I was like, And then we planned a trip to Japan next January. And I was like, you can't leave the country during surrogacy. So I was like, okay, I'll wait. I'll put the second journey on hold. So that's where I'm at with that. But yes, 100%. We are doing either one or two more journeys, and then I'm done.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. And just to note, after a regular vaginal delivery, you should wait 6 months. That's the requirement. But I have been hearing that the ASRM is requiring or recommending at least a year for you to heal, which I think is great. I really do think that pushing it and going too soon, like, you're not able to heal fast enough, and you still have postpartum hormones and all sorts of things that you're battling with. And I think waiting at least that 1 year mark before you actually do your transfer is great. You can apply ahead of time, just like you did. That's totally fine. And then if you were to have a C-section, they say a year, but realistically you would want to wait like about 18 months. So that's awesome that you want to do it again, and that you have the right mindset of, let me wait a little bit. I'm still going to do something with my family. Let my body heal to the best of its ability. And then jump right back in at it again. So that's really cool. Is there anything different you would want with this journey? I know you had a domestic IP this time. Is there something different that you would be interested in doing with the next one?
Yeah, I would like to be closer with the couple for sure. Yeah. And I would like domestic. I know I had a domestic IP this time. She actually just moved back to Japan.
Oh, okay.
So I would like one that's, here staying.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter to me because I won't have the relationship.
Sure.
I still don't want that, relationship, close bond, but I would like for them to be a little bit closer.
Yeah. And I'm sure it would make it a lot easier for them to come to appointments if that was something that you were interested in having them do.
Right.
And having somebody overseas, it makes it a little bit tricky to be at appointments and stuff like that. So I can totally understand that for sure. Awesome. All right. Well, is there anything else, like any advice that you could give to girls that are thinking about surrogacy, or even intended parents that are thinking about going the surrogacy route instead of adoption or trying themselves or anything like that? Like, what is the main perk for you that you saw for surrogacy?
So surrogacy gives you the opportunity to have a child with your genetics, which doesn't necessarily matter to most people. Adoption is great. Adopt if you can, foster if you can.
Sure.
But, if you want someone in your bloodline, like surrogacy is awesome.
Yeah.
And, just do your research, with the agency, with the surrogate, all of that. Just do your research beforehand is the big
Awesome.
Pointer for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, there's times where I'm talking to potential surrogates, and that is what I say 9 times out of 10 is, I want you comfortable. I want you to be in the right place. I want to make sure that you have finished having your own family, that financially you're in a good spot, you have somebody that's supportive, and I want to make sure that you feel a connection with the agency that you're working with. And I feel like that is so important, is making sure that you're heard and that you're happy and everything is going the way that you need it to go. So that's very good advice. Thank you.
For sure. And for surrogates, don't be afraid to ask questions.
No,
as she
not
said,
at all.
I'm a case manager for the agency, and I have girls calling me all the time. I'm like, I'm so sorry for calling and asking a stupid question. No questions are stupid.
No, there's no stupid question.
No, you got to keep asking questions, because there's so many things I didn't know because I was afraid to ask questions, which I shouldn't have been because I had amazing case managers.
Yeah.
But that I learned along the way, which,
Right.
I would have liked to know beforehand, but
Sure.
yeah, ask questions.
I mean, that's our job.
Dumb questions.
That's what we're here for, is
Exactly.
to answer any questions that you have and be that extra support person that you need. It's great to have people in your corner that are in your day-to-day life, but having somebody that's either been through the journey or knows the process, the ins and the outs, is so important to have that. And I think that's a big reason why surrogates tend to go with an agency versus independent, because
Right.
you have that extra support. You have somebody in your corner that knows exactly what to do. You're not having to guess of, oh, wait, do I need to make this appointment? How do I go to this appointment? What's going on with this? So I think having an agency in your corner is so important.
Very important.
Absolutely. Especially if it's your first time. Like your first journey, you really should be using an agency.
Oh, yeah. Because there's so many things you don't know, and so many things that are going to happen that you don't know.
There's so many surprises that could happen.
Right. And there's so many things that the agency takes care of.
Right.
Knowing that, because I take care of them for
Right,
girls. Like,
right.
you got to find them lawyers. You got to pay the lawyer bills. You got to do all of that stuff, like, on your own, make appointments.
Yeah.
Book flights, book cars. Like, everything is
Yeah.
up to you when you don't use an
Right.
agency.
Yeah. And
And it was so much easier. Like,
absolutely. I
yeah.
don't even want to book my own flights.
No.
And I'm not
at all.
surrogate. I'd love to have somebody doing that for me.
Yeah.
So that's good.
All I had to do with the bills is just send a picture to my case manager, and she took care of it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Thank you so much for coming and
Of
talking to me
course.
today. I think it's very important to have a surrogate's perspective of it. And yes, you work for the agency, but I think having that firsthand knowledge of doing a journey and what surrogacy is all about is awesome. So thank you so much for coming.
Of
I really
course.
appreciate that.